Welcome back to Red Business in Focus with Cork's local enterprise offices, where we're meeting the personalities behind ambitious businesses every single week. And this week we've got Niamh Hegarty of Niamh's Larder in the spotlight. She's going to share her journey with us about how a 5-week course at Ballymaloe Cookery School sparks the beginning of her business story. Niamh's Larder started as a picnic box, which grew quickly into a food trailer. You might know her from RTE's show Battle of the Food Trucks, and then in parallel, if that wasn't all enough, she took the next step to develop a brand, BKultured Water Kefir. Niamh, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you.
We'll come to the kefir in a minute, and we'll talk about the other business, but I suppose in 30 seconds, I've kind of given a snapshot there. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing next.
Okay, so I am from Cork, and as you mentioned, I launched with a food trailer, and in parallel I was producing water kefir, which is a fermented non-alcoholic beverage. And through selling it at the trailer, I realised there was a big potential for a product like this in Ireland. And then I decided to create my newest brand, which is BKultured Water Kefir.
Okay, very good. Didn't even need 30 seconds. We're going to get into it in just a minute. People will have heard of you. They might have seen you on the TV show. But you were blazing a trail in lockdown when people were desperate to get any kind of alternative food from anywhere, weren't you? I mean, lockdown was good to you.
It was, and I suppose it was actually COVID and lockdown where everything started from. It was kind of this beautiful, I suppose, creation for me, because I had completed the Ballymaloe course, and through that I had really developed a fond interest for where our food is produced, where our food is coming from, and what we're eating. And I was literally sitting on a beach in Dublin after one of the lockdowns, and I heard families talking on the beach saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm starving, I'm so hungry," and the only option was fish and chips. And I was just sitting there thinking, how is that possible, that the only on-the-go option is fish and chips? So I decided to create my picnic boxes, and I had been producing water kefir through my course at Ballymaloe, and I decided to integrate the water kefir into the food boxes, which I was preparing myself. And I was getting such amazing feedback through the kefir and also through my food that I then expanded into my trailer, which is located at Ballybrannigan.
Yeah, okay. Now, I'm going to get back to the trailer a bit because I still think there's a great story there. But the first time I ever heard mention of kefir was an interview I did with Rachel Allen, who was talking about kefir, which I understood to be some kind of yogurty thing from Iceland. This does not look like a yogurty thing from Iceland, so what have you done?
Okay, so there are two, I suppose, sides to kefir. So you've got your dairy-based, which can come in the form of a yogurt or a milk drink, which you actually will see in supermarkets quite regularly at the moment.
Yeah.
And then the one I have produced is water kefir. So the difference being that this is actually it's a sweet tasting drink. It's a drink that you could drink at any point of the day. It's a drink that you could start your day with, end your day with, have it on the go. And it's kind of, for me, it's a replacement to a fizzy drink or a soft drink. And what it's doing as well is it's feeding your gut microbiome. So we're learning so much more about our gut and our gut health, and the really intrinsic link between our brain and our gut. So that's where this comes in. So you're getting a really tasty drink, but you're also feeding yourself.
And in terms of calories, because obviously people are very sensitive about drinks nowadays, is there a lot of sugar in it? What have you got in there?
So it's actually naturally low in sugar, which is amazing because of the fermentation process. So in order to ferment it, you do feed it with sugars, but the natural sugars are eaten by the water kefir grains in the fermentation cycle. So the end product that you'll see on your shelf or that you end up drinking is naturally low in sugars, therefore naturally low in calories.
Okay, so therefore it'll fly off the shelves because of that, that reason low. Now we're looking at a slightly naked version of your product here as well right now. As people will have spotted, there's no branding, but there's new branding coming, and that's part of the journey that you've been on with the local enterprise office and others, isn't it?
Exactly. So I suppose I through the various parts of my business, this was a very natural growth cycle of producing the water kefir. It wasn't my main business focus. And then I realised that there was a much larger potential to produce this product on scale. Like naturally with something like a food trailer, it's harder to expand, whereas this is something that I could actually expand my business with. So I have been selling it, and it's for sale at the moment as it exists right now in just these kind of old-fashioned milk style glassware. But my new brand, logo, everything is going to be launching this summer, and I'll be in some retail in Cork, and then I'll also be online as well. by the end of the summer.
We've got 2 flavours here, by the way. Ginger and turmeric, which I'm presuming is the yellow one.
Yes.
And mixed berry, which I'm presuming is the red one.
Yes.
Is this all been made in your kitchen? Is your kitchen now after being completely overrun by kefir?
Yeah, so my poor mum is, her kitchen has turned into a production space. But actually at the moment I have just got 2 containers that is going to be a bespoke production unit for the kefir. And that again is through local enterprise. I received funding, and that's the next phase where I can go into complete focused production of this. And I'll be launching with those 2 flavours that you mentioned. So obviously the ginger and turmeric is amazing because it's got anti-inflammatory benefits and antioxidant benefits, but then the mixed berry is kind of more approachable for someone who's like, I don't know what water kefir is, this sounds crazy, but I like mixed berries.
Yeah, okay, someone like me who's kind of going, I'm not sure about the ginger, but I'll give the berries a go. Yeah, I can see the logic there. So people need to keep an eye out for it. The brand is
BKultured.
BKultured, okay, and that's B and cultured with a K.
Yes.
Okay. And it's going to be in shops from the middle of summer?
Yes, it will. Yeah, so I'll be stocking it originally and starting in Middleton. So that's my local town. And there's a number of shops and restaurants that I'll be stocked there, which is really exciting. And I suppose I should mention as well with BKultured, the whole idea is that it's not just a brand, it's not just a product, it's a lifestyle. So it kind of feeds into my whole, I suppose, business growth phase in that it's not just about how we eat, it's about how we're living. And that comes in with, you know, this is something you could take on a hike. This is something you could take when you go to the beach or after the gym or after a yoga class.
Okay, I'm loving the story, Niamh. Just the whole transition through opening up a box to sell food on a beach to realising that there was a market for this and now getting it to stores. I think the next 12 months are going to be really, really exciting for you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
That is it for this week. Join us again next week when we'll be joined by Margaret Urbanovich of Somas. Margaret is going to share with us her story of Somas, which launched in August of 2019, creating handcrafted candles and diffusers of mist and all the nice things that people like having in their homes. And she's going to tell us how her online audience helped her create her brand to launch an independent, amazing retail brand right across the country. Looking forward to hearing from her. Make sure you join us for that on Red Business in Focus, with thanks to Cork's local enterprise offices.